Santoyo 200 on YouTube. You'll be able to find our YouTube account. We'll be sure to share that out in a new text message. I guess there was technical difficulties with the buildings account. But it looks like we have a secondary account running. If I have any of the classroom teachers that wouldn't mind checking the Mr. Santoyo YouTube stream and letting us know if that's actually working. Hopefully. In the meantime, boys and girls, please remember, during our presentation, we have 4 pillars that we follow. Respectful, responsible, safe, and... I'm so proud of you, boys and girls. Before we begin, we have an honored guest here to present the colors. Presenting our colors from troop number 365. Honor Guard, present colors. Forward march. Honor Guard, place colors. Turn around. Honor Guard salutes. Round of applause. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance Thank you, boys and girls. Seats.
I do. I don't know how to.
For our veterans, before we get started, we'd like to take a moment to say thank you for all of your service. Today we have a few pieces of music and a few presentations for you. We have a few pieces of music for you and a few presentations for you, but we would like to take a moment to honor these veterans. These veterans have given some years of their lives in service of our country. So today's presentation, we're going to be doing a few songs. Please remember we are videotaping, so please wave to the camera and say, thank you, veterans. Please rise for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Nina, I can't get this. Veterans, our students worked very hard to make a short video to discuss what is a veteran. Students, please remember to stay quiet during the presentation. Thank you for staying respectful, responsible, safe, and...
you go.
Teachers, here is the order of the veterans that will be introduced during our assembly. As we go through, we would like, correct, we have the bags? Yes, we have the bags available. We would like the students, when they are called, to go and get their bags from the back corner. And then they're going to bring the bags up to our distinguished veterans. So we're going to take a moment to recognize, and students, you may applaud briefly for each of the veterans. If we could have Eliza, please go ahead and grab your bag for your veteran. Boys and girls, this is Brent Calderwood from Air Force, Lieutenant Colonel. Round of applause. Legend, can you go get your bag? Go ahead. This is John Dawson from the Army, retired sergeant, first class. Round of applause. Charlie and Tommy, can you go get your bag? This is Nancy Dunham from the Army, Medical Corps, specialist, fourth class. Leah, can you go get your bag? This is our beloved Mr. Charles Freeman from the Army. And also my amazing substitute for today. One more round of applause for Mr. Freeman. Carter, can you go get your bag for your veteran, Carter? This is Mr. Ralph Gianfrancisco from the Army, first lieutenant. Juliet, can you get your bag? This is Mr. Don Hibbler, Marine Corps, Lance Corporal, E3. Peter and Connor, can you get your bag? This is Mr. Lawrence Kerwin, Marine Corps, Sergeant. Logan, can you get your bag? This is Miss Jennifer Kim, Navy, E4 Petty Officer, third class. Daphne, can you get your bag? This is Miss Tara Kanoff, Navy, Aviation Ordnanceman, Petty Officer, third class. Carter and Baker, can you get your bag? This is Mr. Wayne Martindale, Army, first lieutenant. Amira, can you get your bag? This is Mr. Joe Morales, Army Sergeant. Tanner, can you get your bag? This is Mr. Andrew Sommers, Navy E5. Helen and Hazel, can you get your bag? Maybe Fallon? Okay. And this is Mr. Dennis Sosniski, Marine Corps Corporal. And Karen, can you get your bag? This is Juwan Tates, Marine Corps Lance Corporal. Before we go any further, a special treat for my students and staff and our distinguished guests that were unaware. Yesterday was the 250th birthday of the Marine Corps. I know, that's amazing. So, for our Marines that are in the house, thank you for your service. We are going to say happy birthday in 3, 2, 1. One more round of applause for all of our amazing veterans. For our students and staff, we often have family members that are serving currently overseas. Sometimes we have service members in our family that might have passed away. Mr. Santoyo has a few family members that have served that have previously passed. So we always take a moment to say thank you to them in our minds. So we're going to take a moment of silence for the servicemen and women that could not join us today. Moment of quick silence. Thank you, boys and girls. We're going to have a short video that's going to teach you the history of our Star-Spangled Banner. Please remember to remain silent during the video presentation.
Have you ever gone to an athletic event and someone was singing the national anthem, the people around you were not even paying attention? They didn't have their hand over their heart, they hadn't removed a hat from their head. Perhaps they were chatting with a friend and not even looking at the flag, just disengaged and disconnected. In a sense, by their casualness, they weren't just disrespecting the national anthem. They were disrespecting the men and women in the armed forces who have valiantly served our country. Those who bled and died defending the freedom of our nation. It is my belief that if you only knew the story behind the Star-Spangled Banner, it would cause you to stand at attention, almost like a soldier yourself, with reverence and gratitude. You would sing the anthem with all of your heart, and in so doing, you would be telling the world how grateful you are to live in the greatest nation in the world, the United States of America. Let me tell you the story behind the Star-Spangled Banner. There was a young lawyer by the name of Francis Scott Key who lived in Baltimore, Maryland in the early 1800s. At the time, our nation was engaged in vicious conflict with Britain. After the Revolutionary War, the British had suffered a humiliating defeat at the hands of the United States, and up until 1814, they had been on the defensive. But in August 1814, determined not to be embarrassed again, the British saw their opportunity to get on the offensive. They exacted their revenge by capturing our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., chasing President Madison and his wife from the city, and burning many of our government buildings. Then the British headed to Baltimore, the nation's third most populated city, to attack a fort called Fort McHenry. Along the way, Britain had accumulated prisoners, and we know that some of the prisoners had been placed aboard those British warships. One of the prisoners was a man named Dr. William Beans. Dr. Beans had many prominent friends and neighbors, who enlisted the services of one Francis Scott Key to negotiate with the British for his release. Francis Scott Key agreed and arranged to have Colonel John Skinner, an American agent for prisoner exchange, accompany him. On the appointed day, the men rowed out in a little boat and boarded a British ship to secure the release of Dr. Deans. After nearly a week of negotiations, they were successful. That's the good news. The bad news is that the British decided that they were first going to attack Fort McHenry, and that they wouldn't release any prisoner until after the fort had been destroyed. You see, Fort McHenry was a strategically located military base, which was defended by 1,000 men. It stood on the end of a peninsula guarding the city of Baltimore, and the British knew that the defeat of Fort McHenry and its 1,000 men would serve as another demoralizing event for the Americans. So the plan of the British war fleet, which included some 16 to 19 warships, was to mercilessly fire their superior weapons and completely annihilate Fort McHenry. Then the British would send in its lighter ships up into the harbor to begin to bombard the rest of Baltimore. This is a critical moment in the history of our young nation. For even though we had become a sovereign nation in 1776, the United States was still fighting for total independence from the British due to Britain's interference in our expansion, trade, and other freedoms. On September 13, 1814, as morning dawned and as the haze hung over the ocean, the British war fleet was unleashed. Boom, 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 boom. For 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours. Boom, boom, the guns raged. The sound must have been deafening. Boom, boom, boom for 12 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours, for 24 hours. The British war fleet pounded Fort McHenry relentlessly with no relief this time. The Americans inside Fort McHenry were unable to respond because their guns were not as powerful as the British artillery. Witnessing the bombardment, it must have looked like a spectacular fireworks display. Francis Scott Key paced the ship all night long, back and forth. At times you could see the American flag and the illuminated red glare of each bomb. No doubt if he had seen a white flag waving, he would have known that the Americans were surrendering. But as long as he could see the red, white, and blue flag waving, he knew that the men inside that fort were not giving up. Don't you believe that there had to be some prisoners on board some of those warships who were wondering, is the flag still there? Is the flag still there? Is the flag still there? Because you see, that flag stood for the United States of America. It was that flag that stood for the freedom that our nation cherishes today. It was that flag that stood for the men and women who died to give us our independence. Well, after more than 24 hours of constant bombardment, finally, there was silence. And as morning dawned on September 14, 1814, when the heavy mist and the smoke from the gunfire had lifted, there, standing proudly, flying high above the rampart, blowing back and forth in the wind, was the huge 30-foot by 42-foot American flag. Major George Armistead, the commander of Fort McHenry, had commissioned a widow to make this flag. He wanted it to be so large that the British wouldn't have any trouble seeing it from the distance, waving proudly. Miraculously, the damage to the fort was minimal. Of the 1,000 soldiers, 4 were killed. The United States did not yield, and the British eventually withdrew from the Baltimore harbor, deeming the battle to be too costly. The tide of the war was reversed. There at the Battle of Fort McHenry, just a few months later, a peace treaty was signed between the United States and Britain. It was upon the release of the prisoners that Francis Scott Key made his way back into Baltimore. And after such a dramatic and emotional occasion, the young lawyer was inspired to pen the following words. "O say, can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, or the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag is still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. It is my prayer that whenever we see the flag, which represents the United States of America, and whenever we hear the words of the Star-Spangled Banner as it is sung, that we would stand in reverence for the miraculous events of that night of 1814, to honor the courageous men and women who have fought to keep our flag waving. May we always stand. May we always remove our hats. May we always place our hand over our hearts. And may we always sing with all our hearts as we give honor and respect to the flag and to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for this great nation of ours, the United States of America.
Students, please rise for the singing of America.
Clap, 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 clap. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our Veterans Day Assembly. Before we release any students or our veterans or anything like that, I would like to take a moment to say thank you to the veterans one last time. Can I get everybody to say thank you, veterans, in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for your service. We have one announcement from Mr. Edwards.
One more announcement, guys. While we 100% thank all the veterans, we also want to thank the people behind the scenes that put this together. And that's Mr. Tom Santoyo. Can we give a hand to Mr. Tom Santoyo? Also, raise your hand for Mrs. Allison Braybeck. Mrs. Allison Braybeck, raise your hand. Also, Mr. Ponce, he's not in here right now, but a hand for Mr. Ponce. Also, Darla Kerwin, raise your hand. Nina Gianfrancesco, Colleen Tate, and also Leanna Waldron. A hand for all the behind the scenes individuals who put this together, guys. Run down. Good job, guys. Here we go.
Before we leave, I think Mr. Edwards, do we want to do one last picture of the students that are here with the veterans? Students, if you have a veteran as a guest, we would like you to stay for a few moments so we can do a photo with those members. If you have a guest, if you are a student that has a guest, we're going to ask you to sit on the floor on the blue line right in front of your veteran. Students, if you have a veteran here, can you please come up and sit on the floor on the blue line? For the rest of my students, please remember, there's still a video that is running live stream for our staff members. We are going to start dismissing in reverse order, youngest to oldest, to go ahead and leave for our classrooms. Thank you, boys and girls, for all of your hard work. You did a wonderful job. I'm so proud of you. And our kindergarten teachers, whenever you are ready, if you would like to have your students rise and head back to kindergarten. Thank you again for all your hard work and effort. Thanks, everybody. This comrades class. Stand up. Comrades class. First grade teachers, when you're ready, go ahead and meet your students.